Lisa Sabatini with Hall of Famer Randy Couture and the only man to ever hold a heavyweight and light heavyweight championship belt in the UFC. Randy is doing a book tour. How is it going?
It's going good, yeah. We did 8 stops in the UK. We were in New York, Las Vegas, St. Louis, Toronto, Hamilton, and now we're here in Ottawa.
What's the last round about? Like, what did you go with for that book specifically?
It's kind of a pictorial essay of my last training camp and my last fight in mixed martial arts, and then all the pictures are in black and white, so they're kind of very artistically done, and there's not a posed picture in the group. So Sarah Levin did all the photography. She did a fantastic job. It came out great, and I wrote kind of the essays to go with all the pictures, and it's kind of my philosophy on the journey I've been on and transitioning from wrestling into fighting and a 14-year career in mixed martial arts.
What was it like to make it into your final round in the UFC, walking in a cage, preparing for your knowing it was your last fight?
It was a great camp. Obviously, the outcome of the fight wasn't what I was looking for, but I'd made the decision, win, lose, or draw. It was going to be my last one. It took me a little while to get comfortable with that decision. You second guess something like that sometimes, especially being a fighter and having fought for as long as I have. But I think it was the right decision for me, and I think at the end of the day, it's a rare thing in athletics nowadays to get to go out on your own terms. So I got to do that.
And you just finished shooting for Expendables 2 and also Hijacked? Are you still shooting for that?
We finished Hijacked in August. We just finished Expendables 2 here in January, so they'll come out in August this next summer and September, and very excited about both of them.
How was shooting the Expendables 2?
It was great. 3 months in Sofia, Bulgaria, so it was a long trip abroad, but it was worth it. We had a blast shooting it, added a couple new faces to the team. I think everybody's going to love the movie.
Everyone loved the first one, so I think everyone's looking forward to the next one. Recently, Ryan Couture, your son, fought in Strikeforce, the Ronda Rousey, Miesha Tate Strikeforce. He won by TKO. How much do you have? How involved are you in his training, and how do you separate father and coach role?
We came up with kind of the rules for that when he was younger. He started wrestling, and obviously I was a fairly successful wrestler as well, and I knew it would be a burden for him, carrying around the same last name, especially into mixed martial arts. So I wanted to make sure that he was into it, and it was his, not mine. And so I've stayed out of his fight career and his wrestling career, and just been a cheerleader for him, and he knows that. We've talked about that. I said, look, I'm willing to do whatever you want me to do, but you're going to have to ask me. And this was the one camp that he did. He came up, and this was a big step up in competition facing Connor Hune, and he said, Dad, I'd like your help. Help me with a game plan for this guy. This is a tough guy, and so we sat down. We wrote out his camp. We met with all the coaches. We came up and formulated a game plan, and he got to work, and he did a great job. It was fun to see that camp come together for him, and the performance that he had that Saturday night was remarkable. He did a great job.
Speaking of that Saturday night, Ronda Rousey and Miesha Tate, and you worked with Gina Carano for a long time, and so you have knowledge of women's MMA. What did you think about that fight and Ronda Rousey?
Well, I'm a big advocate for the female version of our sport, and I think it, especially coming from a wrestling world where Title IX is something that eats up the college programs in our country, because of gender equity, I think having a female version of your sport is very important, and kind of levels that playing field. Gina was an amazing athlete to work with, very, very talented, and Ronda Rousey was impressive to watch. And obviously they hyped the fight very, very well. There was a lot of antics outside of the cage, and it was fun to watch. You couldn't take your eyes off it in the cage. A ton of positions. I think the women's fights in general, they tend to lay it on the line. It's like they have something else to prove on top of just going out and winning a fight, and I think consequently a lot of times they're fights of the night. So Rousey was very impressive. We knew she was going to go for the armbar. That's her signature deal, and she didn't let us down.
At the end of this month, and also last year, you hosted at Extreme Couture the World Trials of Grappling. I think it's FILA.
That's right.
Are you hosting them again this year?
We are. We have the Pancration event coming up again here this next month, and very excited about that. And it's fun for me to contribute and kind of get back to wrestling and grappling, which is where I came from. So to have them at the gym and be able to sit there in the front row and watch and feel like you're being part of that is pretty neat.
And finally, pro grappling is starting to grow quite. I mean, ADCC has been around for a long time, but there are new ones coming out where grapplers can be pro athletes and make money. What do you think about pro grappling?
I like it, actually. I competed in the professional submission league with Rico Ciparelli and the guys. I wrestled Jacare in a pretty highly contested match, and I thought that was an amazing event, and I would love to see that event come back. It felt like USA versus Russia duel. Obviously, from my wrestling days, it had that kind of feel, the spotlight and the whole thing, the elevated mats, the whole thing was very, very cool. So I think it's great. I'm a huge fan of the grappling sports and the combative sports in general, so I would love to see more of it.